Did you know that those 3-day potty training methods tend to work well for only about half of all toddlers? If you've landed on this video, I'll bet you're somewhere in the middle of potty training and it ain't going well. I'm sure you started off with a pack of fresh new undies, a stack of stickers, and big dreams of being diaper-free in 3 days. You've been assured by everything out there that the 3-day method will work. Except for fully half the kiddos out there, it won't. The truth is, no matter what potty training method you use, half of our toddlers will pretty easily do fine with it. The other half, not so much. If that's your kiddo, you're in the right place. So hang out with me for a little while and learn what to do instead. Now, the 3-day method is fine when it works. I mean, I hate to break it to you, but there's nothing special about the 3-day method that makes it more successful or preferable to other methods. It's a pretty obvious approach to try. Set aside the weekend, baby is pants free, load them with fluids, keep them by the potty, show them how it works. Pretty straightforward. Often works. Except for kiddos who are scared of change, or who are so high energy that they're swinging from the ceiling fan instead of sitting nicely on the potty. Or many other common toddler personalities that just won't get with the 3-day program. Maybe your toddler's refusing to sit on the potty, flat out announcing no potty as they gleefully run away from you. Or maybe they did great on the potty for a while and now suddenly and inexplicably no dice. And you're starting to realize this is going to take a lot longer than 3 days. And you're starting to worry. What's wrong with my approach? What's wrong with the potty training method we chose? Or what's wrong with me as a parent that my toddler isn't fully potty trained yet? Or the worst worry of all, what's wrong with my child that they're not potty trained yet? If that's you, I want you to take a deep breath and listen closely to me. When it comes to potty training, a one-size-fits-all approach just won't work for everybody. It needs to be tailored to the particular personality of each child. Your child isn't a cookie-cutter kid. What you're going through is not only normal, it's expected. And honestly, it might actually be a good thing in the long run. Let me tell you about why. But first, a quick but important disclaimer. I want to make it clear that I am assuming your child has been given a clean bill of health and is developing as expected by their doctor. The potty training info I'm giving you does not take the place of your child's usual medical care. I strongly advise you to work closely with your child's doctor and take any info I give you to your pediatrician to make sure it's appropriate in your child's case. That said, the info I'm giving you is based on fundamental and commonly accepted child development research, as well as my own practice, helping thousands of families through potty training for decades, as well as my personal experience with my 4 kids, all of whom are teenagers or older now, but 2 out of 4 of them took months to potty train, many months, so I get it. 2 of them were trained quickly and easily and did great on our modified 3-day method, but the other 2, nope. That's when I got to researching why. Why do so many potty training methods work for so many kids and not for so many others? So this idea that toddlers should be potty trained in 3 days has been floating around the internet and in parenting circles for years now. I mean, it sounds very convincing. You know, we potty trained in a weekend, so can you. And it sounds amazing, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to get it over with quickly? And it does work much of the time. But here's what they don't tell you. About half of all toddlers are naturally pretty easy to potty train anyway, no matter what method you use, whether it's the 3-day method or some other well-accepted approach. These are the kids who we call temperamentally easy, which is actually a scientifically observable thing. The inborn temperament of your toddler, I call it their factory settings, are such that they kind of just go along with whatever method you choose, and that's it. They're potty trained. So by the luck of the genetic draw, Mother Nature lined up your kiddo's inborn, biologically based temperament and made them either easy to train or not so much, having nothing to do with how good of a parent you are or how fabulous or brilliant your little one is. For those easy toddlers, they just hit a developmental window where everything lines up. Their body's ready, their brain is ready, and boom, it all works the way they say it will. You could use the 3-day method or a more gradual method or the they'll do it when they're ready method, and those kids would likely figure it out pretty quickly and without too much drama, no matter what. But the other 50%, that's where it gets interesting, and that's who I'm here for. So maybe you have one of those other 50% toddlers, the not so easy to potty train toddlers, like I did, the interesting ones who are spirited, sensitive, stubborn, quirky, sometimes very smart, or just plain cautious. And as long as you have your pediatricians all clear, I want you to hear this from me. There is nothing wrong with your child. In fact, the very qualities that make potty training take longer, being strong-willed, cautious, imaginative, high energy, sensitive to bodily sensations, or slow to adjust to changes, those are often the same traits that will serve your child incredibly well later in life. I've seen it over and over. One of the biggest blind spots in parenting advice these days is that it assumes most parenting approaches work for most kids, whether it's for behavior, sleep, or potty training. We make this assumption that a good outcome is about the approach you use, about what we as parents do. If it worked for you, it's going to work for me. But that just assumes each little kid is the same, which they're not. Your child is a unique little human. We have all sorts of evidence for who they are as their own individual people, literally in the delivery room. Traits they're born with that make them uniquely who they are, that last a lifetime. So the correct approach varies depending on the child. We forget that their temperament matters. Temperament is the inborn part of your child's personality, the way they naturally react to the world from day one, their factory settings. Some babies are naturally laid back and mellow. Others are more cautious. Some jump into new situations. Others hang back and need time to warm up. Some hate the feeling of wet clothes and will practically potty train themselves because of it. Others couldn't care less about sitting on a stinky, steaming load in their pants. They're all different, right? And potty training touches on a whole bunch of temperamental traits at once. Sensitivity, flexibility, adaptability, need for control, reaction to frustration. It's all at play here. So the approach you take matters depending on your unique little kid. When we ignore those traits and try to force a trendy 3-day plan or boot camp or whatever the viral trend is these days onto a child whose temperament isn't wired for it, or the method and the temperament don't match, we just get resistance because we're not being attuned to our child. We risk creating defiance, shame, power struggles, and anxiety because potty training problems can quickly escalate to major power struggles. And a power struggle with a toddler can continue and eventually end up being a power struggle with a teenager and beyond. We don't want that. Potty training should be a partnership, not a power struggle. Another problem is how competitive potty training can feel amongst the adults in the child's life, right? Neighbors and strangers ask about the potty. Other parents post about it online. Relatives make snarky comments. Other parents at the park are swapping stories and judgments. Preschool applications add to the pressure. And when the 3-day method fails, you feel like you failed, or you and your child lost the race for who is the most brilliant potty trainee. I want you to hear this. Your child's worth and your worth as a parent is about much, much more than helping them potty train. It's about developing a secure attachment with you by you being attuned to them, not by how quickly they learn to use the potty. This isn't a race. It's not a sign of intelligence. It's not how advanced your child is or what kind of grade you get as a parent. In fact, rushing the process before your child is ready or pushing an approach that doesn't match their personality will probably backfire in major ways. I've seen it happen so many times. Because here's the truth. Most potty training problems aren't about pee and poop. They're about control. And toddlers are in this fascinating, messy stage of development where control, especially over their own bodies, is one of the complicated, amazing new things that they're beginning to develop. And you want them to have a healthy relationship with their body, right? This is where it starts. If we push too hard, too fast, we end up triggering a control struggle where everybody loses. And because potty training is about so much more than being done with diapers, let's talk more in depth about building that secure attachment with your child. If you followed me for a while, you know I'm a big fan of attachment theory. Dr. John Bowlby, Mary Ainsworth, and all the research that has come from those OG doctors and child care specialists, child development specialists. These days, when you hear folks talking online about attachment styles, though, in relationships, they're usually talking about adult relationships. You hear all this talk about avoidant attachment styles or anxious attachment styles in adult relationships. All of that actually comes from these OG attachment theory concepts that I'm talking about, which is fundamentally about babies and toddlers. And these great minds in infant psychology have shown us the way we respond to our child needs, how attuned we are in those early months and years of our child's life matter way more than any years to come. So this is our chance to really build that strong sense of self and connection in our child and with our child. How we deal with them, especially in moments of stress, fear, frustration, which happens a lot in potty training, shapes how they feel about the world. And yes, for their adult relationships eventually too, for the whole rest of their lives. So the stakes, pretty high. And the level of parenting skill required to navigate it well, super high. Potty training is something gross we want to just sort of quickly cross off our to-do list. But actually, it can be super complicated and super fascinating with a lot riding on it. When you approach potty training with empathy, patience, and attunement, and responsiveness, when you say, it's okay, we'll try the potty again another time, no pressure, or I see you nervous about this, you're nervous about this, that's okay, we'll figure it out together. You're sending a powerful message to your child's developing brain, and that message is, I get you, I understand you, I see you for who you are, I'm here for you, you're safe, you're loved, your feelings matter, and we can handle hard things together. That's a message that builds secure attachment. That message lays the foundation for the securely attached child who feels confident exploring the world, knowing they have a safe base, you, to return to. And securely attached kids have better outcomes in friendships, learning, emotional resilience, career success, and yes, romantic relationships in adult life. So while I know you're frustrated right now to be in potty training limbo, trust me when I say, hang in there. The long game is worth it. And if you want more, grab my intro freebie potty training cheat sheet in the link below. And if you want even more in-depth help, my video course, Let's Get This Potty Started, the Baby Shrink's Guide to Potty Training Your Toddler, shows you step-by-step how to determine your child's potty personality based on their temperament and gives you all the details you need to get this done. Do you have a little tornado potty personality on your hands, or perhaps a shy little mule? Find out the best way to approach your unique kiddo. Or if you want to work with me directly, I'd be honored. You can book a one-to-one consultation and I'll walk through this with you. Links in the description below. And if you find this helpful, please help me reach more parents by giving me a like, subscribe, or comment.